What's going on, everybody? We're back for Shark Nation number 83. We're gonna sit down with Uncle Jay today, my man Jason. What's going on, buddy?
Doing great, Chad. How about you, buddy? You look a little stressed out. You good?
I'm doing great, man. I'm living the dream.
Oh yeah. Now it's a good day. Uncle J talk coming up. 83 episodes in, keeping our weekly commitment to bring the goods. Super pumped up about this. You know, the reason why is because it's real. I just to give you like a little bit of a backstory. So, there's a team member that was supposed to close over the weekend, or not over the weekend, on Friday. His client ended up spending a large sum of money prior to closing, and then didn't have the available funds, when it was time to like get the cashier check. Okay. So the Uncle J talk is kind of the conversation that I have with all my home buyers, prior to submitting an offer. And then the most important part about that is the communication of it, plus, right, weekly check-ins and reminders. We don't need to learn more; we need to be reminded more, right? So, if that makes sense for you, so
Yeah.
and this all ties into the financing contingency, right? Most of the time when we're working with home buyers, or it's going to be a purchase offer with a loan attached. It's not a cash deal. Okay. So they're pre-approved. We need their actual approval. So the Uncle J talk came into place. I was working with some younger buyers, and I told them, all right, now it's time to have the Uncle J talk with you. They're like, what's that mean? I said, okay, you're pre-approved now. The terms of your finance contingency mean that, you have to get all your documents in on time. You have to get your application done. You have to, I told them, put a folder on your desktop, put all your W-2s, all your bank statements, all your pay stubs, everything that you have in one folder because you're going to get asked for it, right? So we're prepared. You need all your docs. But number two, stick to your deadlines. We have certain time frames to do it. You can't just do it when you feel like it. You have deadlines to get this stuff in. But once you're under contract or pre-approved, we want that actual approval. I say, don't go buy any yachts. Don't go buy a new car. Make sure you pay all your bills on time, right? Don't take out any new credit cards, right? Everybody gets so pumped up and excited when they're buying a house that they just want to buy more stuff, right? I got a new house. I need a new car, right? I got a new house. Now I need new appliances. I got a new house. Now I got to furnish it, right? So the Uncle J talk is talking about like, look at you're pre-approved right now. Buying more stuff or not paying what you owe on currently could affect your debt to income, meaning what you owe to what you make, right? And then that could affect the ability for you to get the financing to buy this house. So if you want a bunch of stuff and no house, go buy stuff. If you want the house, don't buy nothing until you close on it.
So you're setting expectations for
Yep.
for what's ahead. And yeah, I mean, I think if anybody who sold any bit of real estate will know that like the whole don't buy a car when you're under contract or don't open up new debt, appliance. Another thing you just said is like one of the big, like we say it so much, yet it still happens. It still happens. Or don't quit your job.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like,
That's
if
most
you're getting a
people.
loan, yeah. And um so
Well,
yeah,
let's
I
break it
mean,
down like this, right? So number one, don't take out any, well, make sure you pay all your bills on time, right? You don't need any delinquencies. But number two, don't take out any new credit cards. That means Kohl's card, Karen, right? A Kohl's card or one of these home improvement store cards, all that kind of stuff is bringing on new credit and could affect the ability for you to purchase the house. So no new credit cards, paying everything on time. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's well, it all comes as part of the it's setting the expectations for them, and I think so. Like I've been posting a little bit about it. And by the way, if anybody wants this, shoot me a message. But I think what do I have like a timeline? Yeah, shoot me a message with timeline or comment or whatever the hell. But we've been real big on tracking the dates too. So like one side of this, that Uncle Jay talk is okay, don't take out new debt, don't do these things. And the other side of it is like you've got deadlines in these contracts that you've got to meet for inspections, for getting your loan application in. There's certain, times of the essence that you've got to do, So first of all, we made a little cheat sheet for that. I've even had real estate agents, grab it. So anybody that wants that, shoot me a message. We'll send over the timeline. It's just like a little guide of what generally what to expect at a closing now. And that's why, like I'm a systems nerd, so we made a point, two things. Like to your point of the Uncle Jay talk, like now on the systems and processes side, give you substance as an agent listening to this, or maybe you're just a buyer and seller, and you're picking up some footnotes. We created one, a tracker. We use a trackers. Folio is what we use. Ametree from Folio. It's a Google Chrome extension. There's lots out there. It doesn't matter what you use, but it's like kind of watching your Uber Eats order, right? What phase are you at? Where are the deadlines? And I actually had a client last week that told me, hey, the inspection deadline's already passed. They sent this reply to inspections. It's out of deadline. We're like, that's how you know your systems are working, when your clients know your timelines. So that's really important. But on the other side, to your point about these explanations and things, is we're revamping a lot of it right now, but we've done a lot with video explainers, explaining the process, explaining what to expect up front. And the more you say about this, is where I think we have a little. But I think we even need, and yes, we should do that personally. But I think on the system side, like that's something we should be systemizing in the process, so that it's every time that like we're sending out something. And we like video explainers. We had I'd made a few years back these. Jason always loves this one because you send them to me. The an emoji on Apple, the little dude that does. You could be like a horse or whatever too. But so I recorded a screen recorded myself. Hey, this is the inspection process. This is what to expect. Or hey, this is, and I like, and I sync them out in certain timelines, and we set out basically an automated campaign based on those dates, and it gives explainers to people so one, you've got to have this conversation and be setting the expectations. But two, you should also set up systems and processes around it, so you deliver that constant Uncle Jay talk, that constant to them.
Yeah,
Um,
something real quick that you could do if you don't want to go out and buy an app or anything like that, and you want to do something at a small scale, is just create calendar invites. So once you have your
yeah,
contract, all your deadlines are on there. So there should be like four main things that you're going to be talking about, and just create a Google Calendar, invite your client, your buyer into that meeting, deposit deadline due, who to make it out to, where to send it to, inspection deadline, have your inspectors or preferred vendors or whoever in there, so then that way they call them, make sure it's in on time, but this is the deadline due. Financing contingency, when's your mortgage commitment due, and then your final walkthrough and your closing date. Five different things, very easy to do as soon as you go under contract, so everybody's on the same page, and then they get the Google reminders of what deadlines are due and when.
yeah, that's clutch. And this stuff sounds simple, and but like I know when I first went into a contract as a real estate agent and as a buyer, before, because I got bought a house right before I got my license, and I mean, just like, man, like I had no clue what was going on. I didn't have like a simple like just sheet of paper with this, and that, like my cheat sheet, not like whatever. I mean, but message me for it, because like I would have loved to have had that as a buyer, and as an agent in my first transaction. Because there's basic things you got to follow. So it's important. If you're a real estate agent and you don't have something in place like that, if you're not having that Uncle Jay talk, like that's first thing,
Yeah.
get up. You've got to have that.
And we have
But
a
second,
a handout doc too. That's our buyer's game plan. From the time we meet them and do our buyer consultation through the whole process of showing house, putting in offers, all the expectations for the timeframes, and then once you go in the contract, and then it's talking points too, right? When's the talk about how the deposit works, inspections work, appraisals work, when they're going to move out, right? They got to schedule that. When they're going to transfer utilities, when the when the closing date is, and all that kind of stuff, so they can work it around your schedule. Hey, Chad, are you off any days Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? That's kind of when normal hours for closing. Yeah, I'm off Thursdays. Okay, well, when we offer on it, let's set that closing date up for a Thursday, so then that way you don't have to take off work.
yeah, yeah, no, it's really good. So Have you had an Uncle Jay talk and somebody still not listen?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's where it came from. You get burned a couple times, and then you have to keep reiterating it. So the lesson learned there was not just telling it when we're doing the offer, but kind of reminding them throughout the process, throughout that 45, 60, 30, 45, 60-day process of Uncle Jay talks, right? Don't switch jobs. Don't transfer money in between different accounts, bulk transfers, or deposit large amounts of money. They're going to ask you where that came from, right? You selling dope? Or where'd you get this from? You hit the lottery? You at the casino? Where's all this money coming from, right? It's just not random. You have to prove it because it's going to go into an underwriting process and they're going to look at your bank statements and they're going to criticize literally every little line item on there and say, what was this? What was that? Where'd you get this money? Where'd it
And they
come
got
from?
to trace it all. I mean, it's got like if it's coming from an account that they don't know about, like well, like we had that where for the everything was done, all the things were good, and then the closing amount came from a different bank account. Can't have that. Got to know
Yeah.
about that bank account. Like there's so you gotta. I mean, and people get frustrated with that. Like. Um, well, two things here. One, it's like, well, I'm going to use my bank then because my bank has all of my stuff. First of all, they've got to get the same documentation any other lender does.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to give it, whether you use your place you bank at every day or the one Jason or I recommend. You're going to have to give those same documentation because they've got to build that file for the underwriter, and all those good things. But the other thing is that they're like it's frustrating that all those processes are required, but like I always say to people, like this is the process. You're asking for money. You don't have, if you're getting a loan, you don't have the cash. So you're
Mm-hmm.
asking somebody for money. They've got to go through their process. You can throw up all the this is ridiculous and blah blah blah. I gotta do this all you want. I gotta give them a document for every time I said hello. Yeah, I get it. I've done it. Just get it
Yep.
in so you get the loan. Unless you have the cash, you're at the mercy of the people you're asking for money from.
Well, here's the reality. Every seller is going to want to know, could you afford the house, right? And every bank's going to want to know, hey, look, at if we gave you the money for this, are you going to pay us back? What's the likelihood you are, right? So that's why they check all this stuff. How much do you make? They want to verify your pay stubs, verify your employment, all that kind of stuff, because they want to make sure that you're not house poor and they're taking it back from you, right? So if
100%.
you're only making, and you show on your pay stubs that you're only making $1,000 a month, and your mortgage payment's going to be 1,500, well, guess what? It doesn't work, right? So they want to make sure that it's a blessing and not a curse. So sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do to get what you need, and it's getting your docs on so they can verify and trust that, hey, look, if we give you this money for this house, you're going to pay us back, and the house is worth what you're paying for, right? So there's another double check there. You're buying a house for 200 grand. Do you know if it's worth 200 grand? Does the bank know some random house if it's worth 200 grand? No. That's why they send out a third party independent person. Go take a look at 123 Main Street. Is it worth 200 grand? Because we're going to loan Chad the money on it. Yes, it is. Okay, great. Check off the mark. No, it's not worth that. It's only worth 190. Right? Or no, yeah, it's worth 250. They're getting a deal, right? Great. Right? You got some built-in equity.
100%. Yeah. So I want to flip gears a little bit because I wanted to have a conversation. So you've brought in a team huddle, right?
Ooh, yeah.
I've done that probably for the past year a good bit. I mean, we've always kind of had one, but like it's gotten real consistent over the past year. Kind of mentioned too. I saw you put that forefront. That's recent, right? Like you guys, you always done huddles and trainings, but like you brought like a consistent daily morning huddle, I think, right?
Yeah, so every morning at 9:30, we meet up, and it's voluntary or whatever. People that are committed are going to be there. People that are not can't won't, they won't show up. We're looking for people that are committed to it, but we do two different styles. One is our morning pod. That's what we do, Mondays and Wednesdays, where we talk about our top five most likely to transact. Do they qualify as a hot buyer or seller? And do we know what their top five must haves are? So we could help find it for them. And everybody's on that call. And then I give advice about how to kind of move the needle or move the ball down the court. So then that way they can, help their client with their transaction or get clear on the expectations or how do we navigate some of these deep waters. We talk about that twice a week. The other one that you're talking about is the team huddle, and it's just been awesome. It's sort of real estate related, but more personal, right? So with that being said, we talk about, what's some one thing that you're grateful for, right? What's one win that you had, and then what's one thing that you're committed to for that day. So that was yesterday. You know, it gets deep, man. People are talking about family stuff. We have a lot of family stuff. It's just building. It's really getting to be the glue that's built. Holding the team together, and we're all locking arms and arm, and it's super powerful stuff. I mean, everybody that's in there. I mean, you're getting teary eyed. People got personal stuff going on. Everybody's stepping up for people that are in need because it's been amazing. And just keeping that structure. And when the call's over, and we go from there.
Yeah, yeah, it's really important. I mean, yeah, and I think like I feel like even a shitty like coaching program or mentor, you can still get something really good out of if you plug in. Like, I think so many people don't plug into the resources that are in front of them. And I'm not saying that that's not even something that I'm never guilty of, right? There's always things that you could plug more into and get more out of, and just personally and professionally. There's not like one size here, but like, and I think that's where you really see it if when you do have a team huddle, like you really see the people that plug in and the people that don't, and you see the difference there. But ultimately, like two things I really, really see out of a huddle, like one, and like solo agent, like find a way to go mastermind with other agents, have like a daily little pump up session or at your brokerage or do it with your internal team, whether that's a spouse or a vendor. You know what I mean? Like get like there's this isn't just like, this is just I know it's made an impact on your team from what I've heard. I know it's been like foundational for my team. But and then one side of it is of course the personal conversation, the personal growth, the camaraderie there. 100%, that's huge. And the other side of it is consistency. I mean, we have a huddle every day, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 9. See, my best ended at 9, which we pretty close every day. But anyway, every day, Monday through Thursday. Um, 8:30 to 9. I have only missed St. Patrick's Day. It was like I don't know why it was like the one, like it's the only one I think we've missed all year. I've been on every single one, and it's like okay, cool. That's consistency for them, but it's also like it's been better for me because it's every morning. Like yeah, I have to run it, but it's just getting up, being there, being top of mind, present. With what I got to do today. Having that conversation. So. I don't know. I think if you're running a team and you're not doing a huddle, like whoa. If you're on a team and you're not in your huddle, double whoa. And if you're a solo agent, you might not think a huddle is for you. I don't know if I'd go triple whoa there, but you need to. I think it's something you should put into practice. And if you really don't have anybody, just huddle with ChatGPT.
Get a virtual friend. Yeah, no, like you said, real estate's what we do. It's not why we do it, right? There's bigger things in life than just transactional real estate activities. Getting to know people on a personal basis and where they're coming from and giving them some grace when they have personal stuff going on. I mean, that's huge, right? Being in their corner and help support them as a team and everybody rallying around them instead of being like, how come Timmy's not showing up today? And then you find out Timmy has all this stuff going on. It's like, oh, now everybody's rallying around Timmy to support him. You know what I mean? So it's good. What do you say to the agents that are like, well, Chad, you have all this stuff and they don't attend it, and then they're saying like, I don't know where this is or I don't know where that is.
What do I say to them? I like the yeah, I don't really entertain that, man. Like because like that's just an excuse. Like, there are and it's been said to me before, sure. I just don't even like, are you kidding me? There's a calendar somewhere. Like look for it. You know what I mean? Like look 5 seconds. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm getting a shorter fuse with some of that stuff because like well, here's why. I've over the years spent a lot of time setting up ways to appease people to facilitate that, whether it's okay, this person wants Google Calendar or this, and I still do it at times, but this person wants it on here, this person wants invited, this person doesn't. And there's always, it's like I'm in groups. I'm in coaching programs. There's calendars for those things. I figure it out. Like if you want to be successful and you're signing up for something or you're plugging into something, like either do it or don't. You know what I mean? And like and here's where it all lies on, really. It's like if you're a real estate agent, you have less than like 3 to 4 pendings. Like, what do you like? Why are you not there? Like, what? Send a text. Like, fine. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, are you playing real estate? Or are you actually a real estate agent? You know what I mean? Is this a hobby or is this a job? Like, what are we doing? So I don't know. I guess like to answer that, I've got a short fuse with it anymore, and it's just like I figure it out, you can figure it out.
yeah. At first, I was kind of like butthurt, like, oh, they're not attending the things. Is it something that I'm doing or something I'm saying? And it's like, well, why do I care about the people that aren't here when I should be focused on the people that are? So then I could record it, and if they ask me the same question that I just went over on it, I'll refer them back to the video of the meeting. Say, hey, watch the meeting, man. Missed you at the meeting. Take a look at the meeting. I went over all that. Or here's the resource where you could get it. Our team site, we have a whole website designed about everything that I could possibly think of is there. Documented videos, documents, everything that you could possibly need. It's all there. It's like, okay, so, and the name of it's a resource to make you more resourceful. So you can find stuff. But at first it's kind of hurt your feelings as a team leader, just like, oh man, maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I need to do. And then I
Yeah.
think we get in these rooms and it's like, dude, you shouldn't have to be like Jerry Seinfeld on stage making a performance every week. People need to be reminded more. They don't need to to learn more. And I think just giving them the basics, giving them the thunder of reminding them of what they need to do and how they need to do it is more valuable than getting up there and putting on an act.
That's a big one. And that's something I wished I learned sooner. It was, I kept feeling the need and to yeah, like could be not feeling the need, but like you feel like you have to bring something new or entertaining or some fun to and really like that's not leadership. Like leadership is or it's not leadership with integrity, at least, right? Because leadership is not sugarcoating, showing people exactly what they need to do to get the result they want and reminding them of that. And since we're lucky enough to have such great coaches to remind us of that. And when I was kind of given permission to stay in the simple and to keep reminding, like I saw how important it is to actually just keep people on track with what they need to do because I certainly need it. I certainly need pushback on track to, whenever I get off and I go into shiny object syndrome or I go into this or I go into that, and it comes back to that form of accountability. So like, boring is good. If you're saying the same things, it's good. Um, I don't think anybody's got it all figured out. So
Well,
I
here's the
think,
reality, like we're talking about, right? So if somebody came to me and they said, "Well, I'm not getting the results that I want. I want to have more deals. I want to earn more income." Okay, great. Let's pull up your follow up boss. Let's take a look at your activity for the month. Hey, missed you at all the morning huddles and team meetings. Hey, missed you at our 3 hour meeting every week. Looks like you haven't been attending those, right? You know,
yeah, I'll tell you where I struggle with though with that, like just I think it's always good for you and I just to have a conversation here and air it out. But like the thing where I struggle is like I I always want to, and maybe this is for an agent with their buyer or seller too. Like you always want to like tell people don't do this or don't do that, and like the more I grow, I learn like they have to discover it themselves. So you've got to basically prompt the question to get them to see it. Like, and that's like and I struggle with that one because like I constantly like I got the answer. I want to give you the answer. Like I want to give you the answer to the test, but it's like they got to be resourceful, right? Anybody does because like if I tell you what to do, you're not very likely to do it. As opposed to if I say, well, how would you do such and such thing? What do you think a better way to handle it would be? And then you discover that same thing that I was going to tell you. That process is just better. So like that's a whole nother that's a dynamic I struggle with a lot. I get out of, I'm constantly battling because I'm a talker, maybe. But
us, really? I know. Well, sometimes too, it's like you want it more for them than they want it for themselves, right? And that's a tough one to get your head around because you think people will join the team and they want to win too, and then maybe they realize the amount of work that goes into it, and it might not be for everybody, and that's okay. And I got to
Boy,
learn
is that
to.
the same thing with a buyer and seller too, though. Like, think about it. Like you know you have scenarios with people where it's like this makes total sense for what you told me. Like, you want to be close to your kids and you want to have this and you want to have that and this situation makes sense. And but you can't tell them. It's like you gotta get them to discover that. And that's the game, man. That's like the whole game on both sides for us, for our agents. Like it's about getting somebody to discover um, on their own the answers to their problems, and if you have a solution to help them do that and to maybe make that process smoother as well when they go through that solution, that's the game. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, love it. Uncle Jay talks all around: buyers, sellers, team members, family, everything. Everybody's getting Uncle Jay talk.
It's all the same, man. Like, that
Yeah.
business isn't personal is a bunch of BS. Like, business isn't personal. Well, I don't know. Didn't human beings create business?
Yeah. 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 All good stuff, man. Appreciate your time. Number 83 in the books.
Bringing
We're
it
getting
on 84 next week.
we're getting close to 100. We got to do something big for 100
Oh, yeah. That's when I'll finally make that new intro video. I knew you'd like that one.
one day.
I was just waiting, man. That's all it was, and for the
Hey,
audience's sake,
wait.
Jason's been on me for like 20 episodes.
I can have Uncle Jay talk with you.
Yeah, really good. Well, I hope that, like always, I hope anybody listening here just finds some value. We like to shed some transparent light weekly into what Jason and I are doing. We've got some
Yeah.
cool
If
guests
anybody
coming up.
wants to buy our game plan, or
Um,
anybody wants to dig deeper on it, hit us up, give you our docs. More than happy to share with anybody. Like you said, if clarity is kindness, and just being able to communicate with people is the key.
that's right. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.